Hi, my name is Hussein, and today I'll be showing you how to make two automatic honey farms that are meant to look like mead barrels, perfect for any bar or mead hall build. Both these farms have auto-crafter functionality for when you want to make the two honey blocks. The first thing you'll want to do is find a bee nest. Alternatively, there's a chance you can spawn your own bee nest if you place a flower next to an oak or birch sapling and let it grow, but this may take a couple of tries. Either through breeding or luring other bees, you'll want to fill up the nest with 3 bees. Try to do this at night so that they'll immediately go into the hives. In order to acquire the nest, you'll need to use any silk touch tool, but the axe is the best one. You'll need 4 nests for the honeycomb farm and 3 nests for the bottled honey and honey block farm. Here are the materials you'll need for the honeycomb farm. Just pause the video if you need to. This farm is inspired by a build by iCraftMC. Links are in the description. If you don't have flowering azalea leaves, you can also use cherry blossom leaves or a 1 block tall flower on top of dirt, grass, moss, or mud. You can use beehives if you don't have nests. Here I'm using a shulker box because it fits best with a color scheme of the build, but you can use whatever container block you want. The first thing we'll do is dig down 2 layers and place an observer with its face facing the front of the build. Place the crafter facing the side you want to access the drops from. Next to it, place an observer facing the other observer. With a sticky piston facing towards the first observer, once this is powered, it'll create a clock for the crafter to turn on and off. Place some temporary blocks so that you can place a shulker box upside down, and remember to leave enough space for it to open. Then next to the piston is where our lever will be. Here I'm placing darker blocks because these will be in shadow. Remember not to have 2 beehives facing the same azalea leaf. Place a dispenser so that it faces the frontmost beehive, and immediately fill this up with shears because we won't be able to access it unless we break some blocks. Now place the other dispensers facing the other beehives, and this farm will automatically run as long as that frontmost beehive gets sheared. Here we're just covering up the farm so that it looks like a barrel. And remember, never to open the trap doors during the day. I use brown banners here because the redstone we'll place above later will activate any trapdoors we place. Now we place a tripwire hook here so that it looks like a spigot from where honey can flow. And next we're just building out the platform for the honey barrel. Just access the barrel for honeycombs and the shulker for honeycomb blocks. You have to use this trapdoor to use the lever to turn on auto-crafting. But make sure to properly toggle the crafting slots. Let's test out the farm. You can also access the hopper here, and we can see the honeycomb has made their way into the crafter. We toggle the lever and now we have automatic honeycomb blocks. You can expect this rate of crafting, but if you stockpile stacks of honeycomb in the crafter and hopper, the crafting rate will be much faster and more similar to how it was shown at the start of this video. And that's the honeycomb barrel. Here are the materials you'll need for the honey and honey block farm. Just pause the video if you need to. For those of you who skipped to here, there are a couple of notes to some of the materials that I mentioned earlier in the video. If you've already heard these, just skip this part of the video. If you don't have flowering azalea leaves, you can also use cherry blossom leaves or a 1 block tall flower on top of dirt, grass, moss, or mud. You can use beehives if you don't have nests. Here I'm using a shulker box because it fits best with the color scheme of the build, but you can use whatever container block you want. Dig down one layer and dig the central hole off-center towards the side you want to access the drops from. Place down repeaters like this, but you only need to delay one repeater by one. I accidentally delayed both repeaters here. This will function as a clock for the autocrafter. Place some temporary blocks so that you can place a shulker box upside down, and remember to leave enough space for it to open. Here I'm placing darker blocks because these will be in shadow. Place a temporary block here so that you can place the dispensers facing down towards the beehives. These comparators will detect how much honey is in the beehives. With the redstone set up like this, the dispensers will only fire when the nests are full. Here we're just building out the platform for the honey barrel. There will be some exposed redstone from the back and above, but if you place this against the wall, you won't really notice them, especially from ground level. These trapdoors and ladders will allow us access to the dispensers above to restock with glass bottles. And now just repeat on the other side. On this side, we put in a trapdoor so that we can access the lever. While on the other side, we're just using slabs. And with these up top, it'll round out the shape of the facade and help cover up the redstone from ground level. Don't forget to toggle the crafting slots in the crafter. Let's test it out. The honey blocks will go here. We turn on the lever, open the trapdoor again, and we can see the clock going. And there we go, we have our honey blocks. And because of the redstone delay, this will never craft sugar. Unless you leave it on for too long and there's not enough honey bottles being produced. And there you see, no sugar. Final touch is to add a spigot and a barrel to look like that's where the honey flows. And there you have it, honey farms that look like honey barrels. You can put these in a bar, in the basement, in a factory. You can even put this in another bar for piglins so that the bees never sleep. So yeah, thanks for watching.